Now, coming to you live from atop the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's the one, the only, Puclpodcast.
It's PoGo! PoGo! It's PoGo! PoGo! Pokemon Underground Champions League, oh yeah! PoGo! PoGo!
And welcome to the 530th episode of the Puckle Podcast. I am your host, Trainer Thatch, here today with my co-host from the future. We've got none other than Dr. Shamu.
Hey, hey.
And Seth Vilo.
It me, what up?
It me, dog. Welcome to the Puckle Podcast. The Puckle Podcast, of course, stands for the Pokemon Underground Champions League, where we talk everything Pokemon from the trading card game to the video game to everything in between. And we are here to talk to you definitely about video game today.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost always about video game. Until that one day...
Yeah, it's about Master Duel, right?
Master Duel, yeah. Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Welcome to Yuckle. The podcast...
A Yuckle?
Yeah, where we play Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel while we wait for...
I hate everything.
That's it's an okay game. I mean, it's definitely good for Shamu because Shamu is super into Yu-Gi-Oh!
I'm happy with it.
He's also very good at Yu-Gi-Oh! Right.
I am not that good.
I think you're better than you think you are.
I play Drytron because it goes Unga Bunga. I don't have to think.
Unga bunga.
I think you're better at it than you say you are, but yeah.
I understand what cards do, and that's the thing. A lot of people don't understand what cards do.
Okay, but you have to at this point because there's like 10,000 cards.
Yeah, that's fair.
And they're all legal, and it's dumb. And it's hard to keep up.
Yep.
It's hard to keep up. But yeah, I mean, that's something to do while you're waiting for Pokemon Legends Arceus to come out. You could go
It was,
that.
yeah. Got the plat. I was like, that's what I was doing. Like, I need to get the plat before Arceus comes out, because I'm not going to do it otherwise.
Yeah, Arceus is going to be a solid week of just, like, Pokemon, I think.
Heck
just,
yeah,
like,
it is.
Probably
We'll get
more.
into more of that feel later, but, like, it's way more than a week. Oh, my God.
It's a long game. It's a long game.
There's a lot of content in this game, but, again, we should probably...
Yeah, it's done really well. But yeah, we'll get to it.
We're gonna get on a tangent talking about it if we keep talking about
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
So.
Two topics is not what we want here.
Yeah, no, we'll get to it. I don't know. Other than that, I mean, I did some Soul Silver stuff with Claude this week, so that's going to be on the YouTube. There should be an episode coming out today. It was supposed to come out before we recorded, but I was too busy playing Legends Arceus, so I didn't edit it yet, but it'll be out later today.
Fair.
So before the podcast is out, it'll make its way to the YouTubes. You can all watch that while you're playing Pokemon Legends Arceus in handheld mode.
Perfect.
Perfection. This is great. But yeah, other than that, I don't know. I don't want to keep this one too long today because we definitely have a long topic.
Oh yeah,
so,
no, it's gonna be a long topic.
We're gonna keep this short, and we're gonna kick it on over to the news, talk a little bit of news, and then we'll do some Poke Quiz, and then we're gonna talk for an hour and a half about Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. All right. So on that note, let's cue that epic music.
Coming to you live from the Lavender Town Radio Tower. This just in.
And welcome to the news. Sunday. Yes. Things that came out today in Legends Arceus. Remember, if you've got it, you can pick up a free Growlithe kimono set from Mystery Gift. It looks all right.
Growlithe one? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's a Growlithe one.
I played through the game with it pretty much. It does look really good. There's a bunch of other stuff you can get too if you have like Let's Go account and or like Diamond and Pearl stuff. Like there's a Shaman one. There's a Eevee and Pikachu like festival mask you can get. They're all right.
I really like what they've been doing with the save data thing. Like it's really, I like it all.
Like having that little like nod of like here's a little bonus for having a save account for this. And it's like I like that. Like
it's really nice.
It's a great, not always, but it's cool. Like the Shaman kimono is really nice. It's just the little festival masks are mad because they're literally like here's a little bowl plate and it's just got like a PNG on it and it's not like a shape.
Yeah. It's just interesting to see as it like has evolved, and it's evolved very quickly for us because PSP and PLA came out back to back, and it's PLA. I can't keep doing that. That's awful. Legends Arceus came out, because PLA is also a type of 3D printing filament, and I'm just going to get confused.
Oh, yeah, it is, isn't it? I knew it had a reason to be in my head.
Yeah, but they just came out back to back, and like they just keep adding things because there's a new game before it that came out, and it's just like, oh, there's a lot of cool stuff to get because I have all this save data. And so it makes the next game seem even better, because then maybe we'll have like 5 things you get just for playing Pokemon. Which we were going to do anyway, right?
The sign up for the first international challenge, the one that will get you a shiny G Articuno, should be open Thursday night or Friday.
That's exciting.
UTC. Yeah, so yeah, get that. If you want that, sign up,
That's really exciting, because those are really cool, though.
They are cool, though. They are really cool. I do like all of them. They all, like, all the shinies do look good, even though they're like the normal colors. It's just, they pop. They pop way more than the OGs do. And I like it.
Yeah, no, well, it's really cool because it's like a throwback at the same time. And this is what I've been saying, like, they've needed to do for their online competitions anyway, because they've only been doing 50 battle points for literally the past 2 years. Nothing else. Give us something cool, and this is exactly the right thing.
Yeah, you need to give a Pokemon or a set of items that's hard to get, Something like, something worth, even like Apricorn Balls would be something better, Like, hey, here's like 50 Dream Balls. Well, people would compete for that. Yeah. Because that's insane.
Yes, they would. And the thing is, because they had such poor turnout for some of this other stuff. Like, I played in the Metronome competition and the one before that as well. And nobody competed. Nobody. There's just nobody there. Like, I was in the top 10 for some of those at some point. Because there were like 200 people playing.
All 5 of you were in the top 10. Yay.
An idea for them to do is they should have gone ahead, let all of the Pokemon from BDSP into Sword and Shield, because that's your main competitive game now. And then you put a limit saying you can only use National Dex number like 1 through 490 or whatever. And then you're back to OG VGC. And you could play that game on Swish, and then the meta's completely different than what it has been, because different things are popular in BDSPOU.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you would get way different stuff. You'd be popularizing the Pokemon you're trying to popularize, because now the game seems to be, we don't care about having all the Pokemon in one game. We want each game to be its own thing. I think this would help sell more BDSP.
On to Pokemon Unite news, and they dropped a cool image that has a bunch of Pokemon, like, most wanted kind of things. It was a wanted poster.
Really?
Yeah, the Wild West wanted posters type thing. Yeah, it was really...
Check their Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a bunch of, like, wanted posters with, like, a weird, like, design image for the one that we don't have revealed.
Yeah, and it's, like, it looks like the... what is it? What am I thinking? The art for the attack animations is what the wanted posters are for the Pokemon we don't have yet. And it tells you, what kind of role they are. There's a supporter, there's a all-rounder, and an attacker.
Exciting.
And they're the ones on the wanted poster you can see. There are also 3 or 4 pages being scattered in the air running as if something ran by really fast, aka Speedster.
Sonic?
So
that might be used because in the little animation, their aura is like the sheriff.
Oh,
that
maybe
might be what that's
it.
relaying. Because they're the sheriff outfit or something like that for their aura. That was in the trailer. Because there's a bunch of it's a whole bunch of Wild West stuff too. Because like there's the Cramorant outfit that's higher end. I think there's a couple of stuff on the point ladder to the battle path for costume. That might be where their aura is. I don't know for sure. I haven't played the game in a lot. I've just been kind of keeping up to date with news.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's I've been really impressed with how well they've been keeping support going.
But so they also on those wanted posters have the month that these things are coming out. So the new all-rounder and supporter will release in February.
Yay.
And the new attacker will release in March. Fun fact, the attacker's little drawing on there is almost exactly the same attack art for the game, for the move Laser Focus in the video game. So
yeah, Pokemon Unite's a game. Well, if you're playing Pokemon Go because you're Pokemon going to the polls, that's a really bad joke. Hey, upcoming raids for February are Regirock, Registeel, and then Deoxys with the shiny available. Ooh. Thank you, guys. Yeah. The Johto Tour's happening, though, I think, this month. So
something like that, yeah. Also, there's some stuff for February, being the Lunar New Year, Valentine's, and then the Hop Pip Community Day.
And I guess, Seth, you get the really exciting news.
The really exciting news, the February research breakthrough. It's gonna be none other than our staring into the void lord, Esper.
Wow. Actually, it's kind of hard to get an Esper, so like that makes sense.
That's fair.
Yeah, so that makes sense. All right, I'll give it to him. Good job, Pokemon Go. You did a thing.
You did it.
You did a thing, guy. All right. I think UTC signups are over now, so unfortunately that's still on the
they
list.
Probably are.
So, that's it for the news. We're gonna kick it on over to Puckle's Poke Quiz, where we're gonna quiz your co-host on their insane Pokemon knowledge.
Oh hi, and welcome to the Poke Quiz, the part of the show where we quiz our co-hosts on their insane Pokemon knowledge. I'm Mark, here to explain the rules. Our fabulous co-hosts will work as a team to answer 5 Pokemon-themed trivia questions that fans have submitted on the Discord server. Each question is worth 1 point, with Pokedex and multiple answer questions worth more, for a total of 7 points. The host can use a free hint at any time. If they get all the answers correct and do not use the hint, they can cash it in for an 8th point.
And welcome to the trivia segment, where we're going to go ahead and just start asking questions to our co-host, because we had that wonderful introduction. All right, so our first question this week, which was curated by Liger. Liger curates all these questions. Please don't blame Thatch for not choosing your question. Blame Liger. This is going to be from Chief. Like what your stepdad calls you. There are 2 Pokemon tied for the most Pokedex color groupings at 6 each. What are these 2 Pokemon? Color groupings. Because in the Pokedex, you can sort by color.
First one comes to mind is Minior.
You know what? If you just give me... Are those your final answers?
What were you about to say?
I only heard Minior, so I'm like... I don't even know.
Well, which was the other one you said, Seth?
Alchemy.
I could see Alchemy.
Are those your
something
final
with
answers?
A lot of color in it? I don't think they would do something gimmicky like Ho-Oh with its rainbow tail, because it kind of isn't. But I don't know. I kind of like Minior and Alchemy, but I could be wrong here.
I could totally see
familiar.
that, but I'm also just thinking of I don't know how do they determine the color? Do they go by forms? Do they go by the base? Do they go by this? Because Minior, I would Minior has all the colors inside the shells, but honestly, I would just go, it's one color because it's brown. The shell, that would be what they would go off.
That's true.
And that's where I'm like, what the hell is 6 colors?
Yeah.
That's there's something probably really obvious that we're missing, but
it's not Togekiss.
I don't know how
that's only
deep,
4.
How deep are they going with when they make that? Are they are they going surface level of oh look, here's this?
Do you guys just want to answer Minior and Alchemy?
Yeah.
Okay,
sure.
That's correct. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank goodness.
Right.
All right, so
God.
Moving on. That's 1 point for you guys. One more question. We're gonna get it from Charizard, our favorite Pokemon. What is the highest priority move that can inflict damage? Inflict damage.
Inflict damage.
Means it can cause damage
not
in
protect.
general.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
Wouldn't it technically... Wait, would that be it?
I feel like it's... What are you thinking? I have a thought that I think is +3.
Oh, it'd be fake out, wouldn't it be? Yeah.
I was gonna say faint.
Faint? Oh, yeah, because it can go above protect.
This can also passively cause damage.
What? Okay, so it's not mine. The highest priority that can passively cause damage?
Yeah.
What?
Baneful Bunker?
That poisons. That doesn't cause damage. Spiky Shield. That's a protect class move. So it's like level 5 or 6 priority, and it causes recoil damage. I think it's Spiky Shield, if that's the interesting wording that we're going with here.
Yeah, because if it's the highest priority that can cause passive damage...
Yeah, because that would go even before Faint. No, it wouldn't go... Well, I don't know.
Oh, no, I don't think Faint actually goes before. I think Faint goes...
I don't think it does. Yeah, that's
it
other
goes
priority.
Through it is the thing. It doesn't go before, it goes through it.
Yeah.
So Spiky Shield sounds right then.
Yeah. Let's go with that then.
Yeah.
Spiky Shield is correct. Spiky Shield has a +4 priority, and
Cool.
it actually beats out Prankster Shenanigans, and it's really nice.
First thing came to mind was I was thinking Prankster Copycat, that would work. I'm like,
Yeah.
that would be.
That's +2, right? That's or +1. That's only +1. All right. Well, you guys are 2 for 2. Your next question is your Pokedex entry question, and this one is going to come to you from the Purple Knight. Its sword entry reads, because some of these Pokemon manage to escape after being restored or are released into the wild by people, this species is becoming a problem. Who's that Pokemon?
Okay, so it's a fossil.
Yeah,
I
'cause
assume.
it's restored.
Dracovit, no.
Could it be Anorith?
What's
I
a
don't know.
general pesky Pokemon? I feel like Anorith would be kind of a pest.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, it is a bug. It is it's a pest essentially.
Yeah, I don't think it's Kabuto. Those usually talk about its sheller eyes. I don't even think that's in Sword and Shield. I could be wrong.
Yeah, this was a Sword and Shield entry.
Yes.
Oh yeah, but yeah, Kabuto. I'm pretty sure they're in Sword and Shield.
Oh, okay.
The only
I
one that
don't remember.
weren't were Gen 4.
Okay, so it's none of those for sure.
Yeah.
There are no Gen 2 fossils.
Yeah, I don't
wouldn't
think
be-
Gen 1, because I think it would say shell or something about armor or
Yeah.
aquatic,
And those aren't very pest-like.
Yeah.
They just kind of are.
And it wouldn't be the new
Leap
ones.
wouldn't
Those
be
make no
the
sense.
Leap wouldn't be a pest.
Archon? No.
So which ones do we have left? We have Archon, we have Tyrant, we have Aurorus,
We
or
have
Amora, pardon me.
Tortuga. I don't think it would be
Tortuga.
Tortuga
No.
or Aurora. Or Amora.
So
whatever.
Archon,
Tyrant, Lily, and Anorith.
and Anorith. I think it's between Archon and Anorith, and of the two, I would probably say Anorith.
It's kind of what I'm leaning towards. Because I feel like that's something that people would probably release, and I could see it being a lot more of an actual pest of some sort.
Yeah.
I think Lily would be more like a bottom dweller thing, or be kind of talking about the sea anyway. They're something about more the plant aspect of it.
Yeah.
I could see it being Archon still, but I'm kind of leaning towards Anorith too, because I think Anorith or Archon would be something but more about the bird aspect, not
Yeah,
I think
something
they're
like how
honestly
it
talking
can't
about-
fly, or something like
Yeah,
that.
all the entries they're talking about, the essentially secondary typing that's not rock.
Yeah.
The pest part being bug, not being able to fly, the flying aspect,
So are we
Yeah.
locking it in?
Let's lock it
yeah,
in.
we'll lock it in for Anorith.
Anorith is unfortunately incorrect. Your backup entry
Darn.
is from Ultra Sun, and it reads, this species lived in the seas of antiquity. Its fossils have been found bearing bite marks from Archaeops, so apparently Archaeops preyed on it.
What? If in the sea an Archaeops preyed on it and it's in Ultra Sun,
Yeah.
and it has a shell,
Yep.
Is it
is it Kabuto? What has shells? We
Tortuga?
have Tortuga, Kabuto. I don't think it would be Ammonite.
No, I don't think it would be Ammonite either. I just can't,
So that rules out Archon, though, for sure.
yeah. It would be something that Archon preyed on. What's gonna
Yeah.
really screw us over if this is not even a fossil?
Yeah, right. It's just something really old. Genesect. It's Genesect. Oh my gosh. Of the two, of Kabuto and Tortuga, I kind of like Tortuga
I feel
because
like it makes sense with the two being in the same gen.
yeah, that's kind of what I'm leaning. Am
Sea
I
of
making a
Antiquity,
faulty
though.
assumption? Probably,
I want to
but
make sure. Wait, it's the Sea of Antiquity though. Is that something that
is that a place? I don't think that's a
I
place.
don't
I think
know.
that's just a phrase.
it might be a phrase? I don't know.
Can you tell us if it's capitalized, Thatch, since you're just reading this Pokedex entry?
It's not capitalized.
Cool, it's just a phrase.
Cool. I'm okay with Tortuga. I'm kind of hoping. Something
Yeah,
comes
let's-
be off.
Let's do that. Tortuga.
Tortuga is unfortunately incorrect. The answer to
Oh, no,
both
is
of
it
these
Kabuto?
is Ammonite.
Oh,
What the
really?
hell?
What?
Yeah. Yep. It is Ammonite.
Wow.
Well,
okay.
let's go back and change history. We can't have Ammonite exist anymore.
Yeah,
Thankfully, a game just came out that lets us do that.
Oh, no.
eradicate the species.
All
Ammonite
right.
genocide.
In your next question is your multiple answer question. You can get up to 3 points here, and so because you guys are currently 2 for 3, so we can turn that up to 5 for 4, or not 5 for 4. I don't remember. Sure, that sounds right.
Number
And
for
this
a number.
Yep. And this one is going to have 8. Well, no, that's an unfair question, I think, for you guys. This one's going to have
Ooh.
13 answers.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, okay.
You'll get them. You'll get them. I only need, for every 3 you give me, I'll give you a point. Up to 3 points. This is from Trash Panda 103. Which 13 Pokemon have characters in their name that are not in the English alphabet?
Oh,
They're
okay.
not the 26
They're
letters.
not letters.
Yes.
Okay, so let me start. I'm going to type a little bit. Mr. Mime.
That
It has a
you have to
period.
lock them in. You do have to lock them in so that we can make it official, but yes.
Yeah, Mr. Mime with a period.
That is
Lock
correct.
in. Porygon 2 with a number.
That is correct.
Porygon Z
Porygon Z with a hyphen.
That is correct.
Type Null with a colon.
That is correct.
Yeah.
That's 4.
Mime Jr. with a period.
That was Mr. Rhyme, too.
That is correct. That is also
Mr.
correct. That
Rhyme.
is 6. That's 2 points. 3 more.
I've got them typed out so we can not lose track.
Yeah.
Are there other numbers? I feel like there's other numbers.
I'm trying to think.
There's a very easy way to get 3 of them right now, but just
I'm sure.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of stuff, like... Because I'm like... I keep thinking of forms, but that's technically not the Pokemon.
Nidoran
like-
male, Nidoran female.
that's 2. You need 1
Yeah.
more for all the points, and then you'll have 9.
I'm just trying to cycle through stuff and I can't think.
Yeah. We've gotten through the easy ones, and now it's the more elusive ones.
Are there legends that have an issue with something? I feel like there might be a legend.
Something digital, maybe?
Kind of what I was thinking. I'm like, maybe there's something we have, like a legend that might just be one of them.
Rotom isn't that... It's not even a
So
legend,
those
but
are the
you know what I mean.
forms. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are form names. Genesect is not. Agumon.
God, this is like...
What's Jinx Smoochum? No. Okay, that's a thing. That's a normal thing. My brain keeps shouting Gliscor because for a long time it was the only one that had an exclamation point in its Pokedex entry, so I keep getting messed up there.
Oh my god.
3 of them. With
I'm
that
gonna need some
accidental
answers,
hint,
guys.
it seems like they're all related.
I'm gonna need.
No.
You're missing 5. You're missing 5. And you're super close. You're super close, guys. There's like a whole line of them.
Yeah.
It's just we can't figure out the one line.
I feel like it's a steel type just because those are weird. But I'm
You
probably
do have
wrong.
the hint. You guys haven't used the hint yet today.
Oh yeah, we haven't used the hint, have we?
We can just use the hint because we already don't have.
We'll
can't
probably do
cache
okay
it.
on whatever the base stat is. Yeah, let's cache it.
This is a dual type introduced in Generation 7.
Okay.
One of the types is fighting. In the line, the baby form doesn't have the fighting type. The smallest one.
Introduced in Gen 7, and the first form doesn't have the fighting type.
But there's another type, that they all have. It's scared of Tapus.
What?
That
A fighting type scared of Tapus?
Well, I mean, it's scared of Tapus because of its typing.
Of the fighting typing, yeah.
And its other typing.
It's Dino, Zvilas, and Hydreigon. They have German numbers in them.
In Gen 7. In Gen 7. You're super close.
that didn't.
Fighting-
Oricorio, isn't it?
Well, Oricorio, if you give me the right form, would technically count. But
Ballet. Wait, no, that
That's
wouldn't
not the
be.
name, though.
No, that's not the
It's
name.
not
How does
the
the form
no.
count?
I'll give
No,
it to you if you
they
can
have
come up with
forms.
it. But yeah.
I just thought about it. I was like, oh wait, no, it's not Oricorio. Oh,
A fighting type introduced in Gen 7. What's a fighting introduced in Gen 7? That's Alolan fighting types that are a 3-stage line, only 2 of which are fighting. It's not the starter.
You were on the right page when you were thinking Clang.
Oh,
Jangmo-O.
Como-O.
There we go.
All those 3.
There you go. There you go. You ended
there
up with 11.
There's 2 more though.
The ones you missed were Ho-Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh wow.
And then also Flabebe, because the E's aren't actually E's. They're like
Oh,
the weird E's.
they're
that I would have never gotten
Frenchies.
Flabebe.
Yeah, so also a couple of forms I would have taken if you would have really given to me. There's Zygarde 10%, Zygarde 50%, Oricorio Pow, and then Oricorio Pom Pom. Also,
Oh, okay. I was thinking the names
technically,
of the actual
it's the-
Pokemon.
I would have given them to you if you would have gone down that route, but you didn't.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's
It's the fact that it's a form I wouldn't have even encountered myself because it's
Yeah.
not really.
It didn't even occur to me.
It's the name of the form, not the name of the Pokemon.
Yeah, you guys are at 5 points though, so that's good for you. And next question is your base stat question, as always.
Watch us really need... Never mind.
This is going to be from Liger. What grass type has the lowest special attack? You typed that wrong, Liger, because it's typed highest special attack, and the answers are not that. It is the lowest special attack. What grass type has the lowest special attack of all grass type Pokemon?
Okay, now I feel bad that we used up the hint.
Sunkern?
Yeah, that's pretty low. Those are all the same stat, though, right?
Sunkern is one of the lowest BSTs in the game.
Yeah, but it does operate off its special attack, I think.
It does,
maybe higher than something
30
stupid.
Special attack.
I don't think it's Badoo, because even though it's a baby, technically, that's the same kind of thing where that line operates off their special attack.
Is it Arceus grass?
I don't think it's Shroomish, because Shroomish's special attack's oddly higher, which makes sense, because it's mainly special when it's that form.
Yeah.
Itty bitty baby grass types.
I can't
I don't think it's any of the Gen 1 grasses, because they wouldn't, when everything was grass type, was special, they wouldn't have been that cruel.
Everything I'm thinking is probably around 45, 50. I'm still I feel like Sunkern and Badoo are probably the one that it is. I think Badoo's higher. I think Badoo's 40 something though.
Yeah, I would say probably Sunkern.
I'm just worried that Sunkern's gonna be oh yeah, I totally forgot.
The trap
55
answer.
or 60. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's got a bunch of 5s. It is known as one of the weakest Pokemon in general. But
I think there's something that has lower BST. I think it might be wishy-washy baby form.
I'm gonna need an answer at some point here, guys.
Yeah. I'm trying. We're stalling, running through the other grass types in our head.
Well, your stall is over.
I know,
this isn't a
it's
competitive
me on the
battle.
show. Remember,
it's not a competitive battle, Seth.
I know. Do we want to go with Sunkern? I'm safe. I'm
sure. I can't think of anything else. My brain's kind of fried today.
Yeah, I know. I've stayed up till 3 a.m. the past two nights.
Yeah, I'm running on 5 hours and caffeine. So.
Sunkern then, locked in.
Sunkern is unfortunately incorrect. The answer is Pharaoh Seed with 24.
Oh.
Second place is a tie between Sunkern, Seedot, and Bonsweet at 30. Hoppip at 37, followed by Cottony also at 37. So there you go. You guys got 5 points today, though.
Yeah,
no.
Take it.
Which I think changes things, like put Shamu on the board and then keep Seth exactly where he is. And it's there we go. That's the thing.
A change, yeah.
Where am I?
You're in second place.
Dang it.
You're right behind Claude, who's technically within shooting distance, and he's trying to make it his life's goal, but I'm going to give him a hard Pokedex entry question next time.
Good.
So, in first place, we have Claude9 with 22 points. In second place, we have Seth Vilo with 19. In third place, we've got R Sigma with 14. Tied for fourth in a four-way tie is Linean Mark, Yushiro, and Basket with 7. And in eighth place, we have Dr. Shamu with 5. Everybody else has yet to get on the board.
Maybe he'll just sign up for the next 2 shows.
You will?
Where's the next openings?
I don't know if you'll beat Claude out. I don't know. Find
I'll
out.
just accidentally delete Claude off the sign-up sheet.
All right. Well, that's it for PokeQuiz. If you want more PokeQuiz, be sure to tune in to us next week. Until then, we're going to kick it on over to the topic. Hey, would you like a green Tauros badge? Well, you can have one. If you come over to our Patreon at patreon.com/puclpodcast, we are going to be giving them out once we hit $850. We're going to be giving those to every patron at the $10 plus tier because we love you guys. We'd love to see this project made. Of course, if we hit any other thresholds on the way there, such as $800 for the week-long giveaways to the community, that would also happen as well. So if you'd be interested in getting a green Tauros badge, feel free. Come on over. If you can't support the show, don't worry about it. You just listening is enough for us. So until then, though, guys, I'm Thatch, and I'll catch you guys on the flip-flop. And welcome to the topic. Our topic today is going to be first impressions and things we've seen in Pokemon Legends Arceus. The game's only been out as of recording for technically 36 hours in the United States. Of course, we've had access to it through various means otherwise. None of it illegal. None of us have done the ROM.
It's been officially out for about 24 hours, or not 48 hours now overall, because Japan releases at 10 a.m.
Yeah, that's when some of us got it through the eShop. But I wanted just to go through some of the gameplay elements and how things feel. That way, one, it's harder to spoil it for people, because I know all of us are at various positions. I think Shamu's beat the game.
I've gotten credits. I'm in post-game stuff.
Theoretically, somewhere in the middle, halfway. And then Seth is closer to the beginning.
Yeah.
There is stuff in post game to do. Like they
Yes,
do
absolutely.
stuff to do.
There's
I won't
absolutely.
say what it is, other than that there is a second thing to do.
Yes, absolutely. But on that note, we are going to go ahead and jump into it. So the first thing, and I think the most obvious thing to talk about, is that catching is way different in this. Well, maybe not way different, but it's definitely different.
There's a different way to do it.
Yeah. I really like it because it's kind of what we've been waiting for, I think, honestly, since the game made the jump to 3D, which was just being able to aim the Pokeball and throw it yourself, which is something you can do here. And
without engaging in battle.
Yeah,
That's the cool part.
That's the cool part, especially since we already had overworld Pokemon for a few games now.
Yeah.
This is like the next step.
Yeah, exactly.
Catching them in the overworld now.
And then how fluid it is to battling as well, because it's like it's just very fluid. And on top of that, you'd think the Pokemon models would suffer as a result, but they don't.
They don't. They're so good.
They actually the Pokemon models are really good. Granted, I think in this game they can through data mines. Spoilers, sorry, I guess to some extent. There's like 240 Pokemon included in this game or so. So it's definitely a much smaller pool than something like Sword and Shield at launch, where you had 400. But this is they definitely took their time with it. And I think, honestly, in the credits, if I remember as well, they had a significantly larger team working on the Pokemon models.
I think it was upwards of 70 people.
Yeah, I think it was
instead of the normal 30 or 40.
Yeah, they had double the people, half the Pokemon.
Because also with this game, they have actual like attack animations, and
they look really good.
One thing I've noticed. This game is animated like incredibly. Like some of the facial expressions are just hilarious. Like there's some dumb ones, but there's also like they did a lot of work with just like animation and like.
I'm very happy with this, and this is the kind of stuff where if I would have seen that in the overworld in Sword and Shield, I think the Dexit complaints would have gone away if it would have been this quality, because this is fantastic. Like it just looks fantastic. Even during like the evolution screens, they purposely like take the eyes out. And that's because the eyes are separate parts of the model, so they could do that and put an algorithm in.
Yeah, like that is the evolution screen is incredible.
It's very good.
It is a really cool screen. Neat. Even the song is like actually nice. Like it took me a while to realize. I'm like, oh, that's a new theme. I think it got like drums in it. Like,
yeah.
It's really good. I really liked everything they did with it. The catching mechanics as well. The catching mechanics feel good, and they did a really good job.
They
with,
gave you 2 ways to play with or 3 ways to play with the catching mechanics.
Yes.
Because they introduced there's 3 different balls you can get. You start off with the basic Pokeballs. You get heavy balls, which are like they don't have range, but you're meant to use them like while sneaking.
Use them while sneaking, and then it gives you an advantage.
It gives you a better bonus.
Yeah,
it gives you a better bonus. And then there's the Feather Balls, which they go through. They each have a 3-tier upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
Feather Balls are a straight line and have a longer distance.
Yes.
Than the Heavy Balls. Those
really
feel
good
really
good.
They are really good. They are really good for snipe shotting. Because something turns their back.
Yeah.
Something turns their back on you. You just throw that ball, and it's just like boom right in the back, and it's.
You might not be there yet for them, Seth.
I just got a couple of Feather Balls. I have not yet had the opportunity to throw them because I didn't need them for hunting Goomy.
They feel good. They feel good. You need them for hunting more than Goomy, I think.
I was laser focused on Goomy last night before I went to bed, so that was why.
I haven't even tried Goomy yet.
What you were saying earlier was like the 7 Goomy like swarming you. You would have never had that situation because you would have been at a distance where they couldn't see you and got one.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay.
That's why Feather Balls are incredible, because you just use them for long distance hitting. Like, you're off in a piece of grass, so instead of waiting for them, like, if you're in the grass, instead of waiting for them to come to you in the grass, you just hide in the grass, wait for them to turn their back on you, and then you just sling one, and there you go.
Yeah,
it's yours. But the thing is, these balls have good ways to catch outside of the Heavy Ball, and the Feather Ball have good ways to catch outside of battle. They do not do anything any better than a normal Pokeball in battle.
Yeah.
So I was going to mention we were going to mention tips and tricks later, but I'll say that now since we're already kind of on that topic. Use a basic ball in actual like combat. If you're actually battling something to catch it, just use a Pokeball or a Great Ball or an Ultra. Just do that. But like the catching bit does feel really good.
It feels really good, and I like how fluid you can go into battles. The world feels very alive.
It does.
There aren't as many jarring cutscenes as a normal game, and I love it.
Oh my gosh.
The fade to black with the battle music starting.
Yes, true.
Like, that takes you out of the moment a little bit in the main games. I've always kind of not liked it, and that's part of the reason that I've liked Repels. But now it just kind of all happens and is fluid and all at once.
Yes.
I like it.
I mean, if we go 100% overworld, I think this is the way to handle it. I really like it for a lot of reasons. Because it even keeps the random encounter aspect to it to an extent. because you have you have a spawn point. The way that they handle it in the code is they have a spawn point, and that spawn point has essentially an encounter table. That's a mess. And then you can have random spawns in those spawn points. And I think that's a really interesting way to handle it so that you can refresh and everything. I don't know. It makes sense to me when you can catch things in the overworld as opposed to the way they handled it in Sword and Shield, where I still wanted random encounters because I still wanted to hunt something.
Yeah.
But I still had to bump into it and do the cut screen and then throw my quick ball and then move on.
It was like Sword and Shield was like, here you want this, have this, and it just didn't really.
Yeah.
It didn't mesh with what the game was. Also, like, I think it was just something they threw in there. I don't know if it's something it's not something you throw in there, but it's really just, it wasn't like, it didn't feel like it was meant to be that way, and it felt like it was a part in like development. They just like, people really like this, let's put this in.
Didn't they say they added it because Let's Go did so well?
That was the favorite part from Let's Go.
Yeah, and that's probably what I assumed. It's probably mid-development, and they're just like, people really love it, let's put it in, let's do it, let's get it in real quick, shove it in, and it just didn't really.
I said it off air, and I mean, it worked really well in Wild Area, I think.
Wild Area is fine. That's fine.
And this just feels like the fulfillment of just like a prophecy while also directing new directions for Pokemon to go. Because we kind of had the slow build up to overworld Pokemon. We had it in Let's Go, which was kind of a mess. Because they wanted you to throw the Pokeball, but you also had to enter a battle screen, and then you could only throw a Pokeball, and then it was motion controls, and nobody likes motion controls. Mm-hmm. And then we moved to Sword and Shield, where we had the overworld in the Wild Area, and the Wild Area kind of felt like an afterthought, because probably Sword and Shield started as a 3DS game. Nobody knows. And then we got the DLC in Sword and Shield, where the Wild Areas were more fleshed out, and they felt closer to what we have now in Pokemon Legends Arceus. And now Pokemon Legends Arceus is just like full overworld. And I think it's very easy to transition what we have in Pokemon Legends Arceus, because the battle system, which I want to hit on next, is much different than we would have in... well, not much, but it's different than you would have in a traditional Pokemon game.
It is different and can be harder or easier depending on a lot of things, because I've had my frustrations with it myself, because it's just like...
So my wife is a much more casual Pokemon player than I am, obviously, because she also doesn't have a Pokemon podcast.
Floored.
Right? So we were playing last night, and she got really frustrated, specifically with Alpha Pokemon, which is another topic we'll jump into. But the battle system is based on speed, and the Alpha Pokemon are so much stronger and typically faster than yours. So sometimes you'll just throw Pokemon out, and they're just going to get pelted by Hyper Beam 3 times.
Yeah.
It's really annoying.
Because it's not exactly speed tiers like you would have in Pokemon. Not everybody gets a turn to try. It's definitely very confusing for people who didn't understand that it was different, or how it was different, I think, and jumping into it. Which makes me think this is definitely like a more hardcore Pokemon experience, like in-game. Which I do think it is, because I think the difficulty level is like great. I think the difficulty level is right where it should be. My only problem with the difficulty curve is that I did find myself, much like in BDSP, my Pokemon leveled very fast, but maybe it's because I went off and like I explored a lot more.
If you are going off and doing every single thing, you're going to overlevel. I finished the game underleveled because I stopped after a minute, because toward the end I kind of just like got through the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And I was doing a lot of stuff early on. Like, early on, I was getting kind of, like, over-leveled to a degree. And then it was, like, I just kind of, like, toward the end, it kind of, like, you've done the stuff, and you're just trying to, like, okay, I want to get to the end part, because I've seen the areas now. I want to kind of go through and finish it up. And it's, like, I finished it with, like, 55 to, like, 60, I think, where my levels were.
Gotcha.
Which is reasonable. That's typically where most people end with a Pokemon game.
And even now, I've been doing a lot of stuff post. I have levels at 63 that I'm, like, currently using in my main team. Huh. So it's, like... And yeah, there are things that are higher than like that. There's like I've seen a 77 alpha. Like the alphas are going to be what your high levels are. Like, but yeah, back to battling though.
Yeah, we'll go back to battling before we go too far off the main path.
Yeah, it's so hard because we've got so much.
There's too much.
I love it.
Because a lot of new things change, and again with the battling, a lot of it is the speed tiers are really wonky.
It's wonky.
If you have a lot of slow things, you will have a hard time. Even if they're bulky, you are going to have a hard time.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that.
Yes, no. Seth. Yes, Seth.
Like, I have Low Pony. Low Pony's been really good just because it's fast and it can actually hit hard. And because what will happen is if you're too slow, well, we'll say, okay. So, for example, I send out a slow Pokemon against the fast one. That fast, like, we'll say the fast one has 2 turns in a row. Or not even, no. Well, yeah, I think we're getting
too much into the weeds here. I don't want to go this far into the weeds where we're going through a battle by battle.
I'm just sad now because all my team is slow boys and they're all weak to ice.
It's the issue of if you have a slow Pokemon and something is super fast and you send out something faster, it won't take that thing's speed into account until that other Pokemon's turns go through.
Yes.
So it can literally, like, you accidentally send out a slow thing first, and then even if like that faints and you send out something even faster than the thing you're fighting,
yep,
it's just gonna go, oh no, it calculated this was the slow thing, so it's gonna get it 3 turns in and like destroy your entire team.
Interesting. Okay.
There are definitely problems with it, and a lot of people are.
Yes.
There are times where you can figure it out and kind of make it work, and then sometimes where it's just like you just get it's just BS. It's just like, okay, how, why, what?
I dig it.
You
I
just
still
can't-
dig it.
It is. I'm not saying it's like it's still fun. It's a game. It's still fun and stuff. And that's fine. They're the way you learn stuff through it. It's just there are times when if you're like fighting an alpha super early too, you shouldn't be fighting an alpha super early. You can try.
Yes.
I'm not saying don't try, but don't expect to go, oh look, I can raffle stomp that and like one shot. No, you're not gonna one shot. It's gonna like destroy half your team and you're gonna run away screaming. And then the fear of Wurmple is put into you.
Let's pivot to alpha Pokemon because we've talked about them so much.
Yeah, we've talked so much about them.
Yeah, they're these uber powerful Pokemon that walk around. They're meant to destroy your entire team.
They are meant to be a big, like a boss, essentially. And
It's like a little mini boss that's roaming around all the time. You can catch them, which is a really cool mechanic that I really enjoy. That you can, like, you could risk it for the biscuit and try to catch it after you battle. Because I've caught a few already, which is, you can catch them.
You can definitely catch them, and later, like, once you can lock on to them to see the catch rate, and it changes if you hit them in the back or not.
No,
or
it
how
does.
You're doing it.
Catching Pokemon in the back is, it gives you higher catch rates in general, which is really nice.
And certain alphas you just can't catch them from the front. You actually have to hit them in the back or battle them or have them lured in with spate.
Yep.
By using a berry.
Oh,
if they're eating food, their catch rate goes up.
And talking about the living world a little bit, so typically they'll have alpha Pokemon in areas with like smaller versions. An example is in the Crimson Mirrorlands, which I think you're in right now, Seth.
Yeah.
There's the little hippopotas like section, and there's a big Hippowdon that's an alpha Pokemon there.
I am very aware of that big Hippowdon.
Yeah.
It charged me and scared the crap out of me.
If the little hippopotas gets really scared and like it gets the little exclamation point, like it sees you and you can't just throw your balls at it anymore, it like calls Mama over.
Oh, that's what did it? Okay.
It's like this living world of just like these big Mama Pokemon are everywhere because
that explains it.
Occasionally, you can also get Ursaring and Teddy Ursa like that as well.
Yeah, that happened to me too.
There are some like static on the map.
Yeah, Mama Bear comes.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some that are static on the map. Like in the first one, there's a Wurmple in a little meadow. There's a Lopunny off to the side of the Heartwood, I think it is.
Yes.
Heartland, something like that.
Oh,
There's also
okay.
some and they also could just randomly spawn. Like
there's some extra ones.
Like by the Heartwood area, like where the Cleavor is.
Yeah.
Is a Shinx. A Shinx will randomly spawn. Sometimes that's just an alpha. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yes.
Some alphas are really ridiculous. Some of them are like, oh, it's not that great. Like Baneri is hilarious. It's literally the size of the player. Like the body, not the ears. The body of the Baneri, the size of the player. And I'm like, it's just a little Chungus. I love it. It's like great.
I caught an alpha Wurmple.
Yeah. Oh no, that thing is terrifying.
It's just like the size of you. But
that thing is terrifying because Poison Sting is one of the scariest. Like Poison Sting and the Pulses are the scariest moves to see because they home.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And Poison Sting has a huge range.
Mm-hmm.
So does Water Pulse.
And really good tracking.
If you go after the Goomies, don't take on more than once, or you'll get 6 Water Pulses that follow you to the face. Word of advice.
Oh my god, yeah.
There's
some scary things.
Yeah, I love it. It's so cool.
I want to pivot again to crafting now because crafting's in this game.
Your Pokeball crafting system is here, Thatch.
Yeah, and it's almost good.
It's almost good. Yeah.
Like it's almost what I want because I love the idea of being able to collect and just craft your Pokeballs and everything. The thing I want, the thing I wish we had was we had more types because like Shamu said, we have like 3 lines of Pokeballs essentially that you can use.
There's a total of 9 in the game, I believe, which is essentially 3 types and 3 tiers.
In my mind, this is a good start. It is a good start.
Only until later on it's not really effective to craft. They're worth the same amount.
Yes.
No, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are, flat out. Only until later, buying it is a little more expensive.
Okay.
Like, I think Ultra Ball tier is when it's a little more expensive, because
to
make a Pokeball, to make a basic Pokeball, you need 1 Apricorn, 1 Tumblestone. Apricorns are 40.
Okay, but
Tumblestone is 60.
But it's also just free to like go out and get the stuff.
Oh no, it's totally free.
Exactly.
No, there's an upside to going out and just hunting it all. But sometimes like what happened to me a lot, like didn't get a lot of Apricorns, but I got a crap ton of tumblestones, so I would just go buy a bunch of apricorns and craft them that way.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's completely understandable.
And that's really nice. That is a nice thing. There was a material seller in the base, so hey, I'm missing this piece. You can go buy that like apricorn you're missing or that tumblestone you're missing for like a reduced price. It's worth it. It's just one of those things to keep in mind of like later on.
I think it's necessary for Pokemon because this is a new style game for people who would typically buy a Pokemon game, and there's no crafting in other ones. I think this is really good and a really good start.
This is a very good start.
I'm hoping we get new Pokemon and Legends Arceus type games where we can craft Pokeballs.
Yeah.
I hope they add on some more things because I really love that we have the heavy ball and the feather ball, and that they do different things than like the traditional heavy ball, and the feather ball is completely new. They do different things. But what I would really like to see is more things like we saw out of like the Kurt balls.
Yeah.
I would like to see that. But this is a good start. And if there's going to be more stuff like this.
I think that is technically, I haven't tried it yet, but there are lures that work on better Pokemon. I have a feeling that they might increase the catch rate of those Pokemon if they're eating them. Like a lot more, like significantly.
I just like them for bling, and I wanted in the Pokeball.
Oh, I get it. I think the Pokeball we need is one for battle.
Yeah. That would be cool.
Because I would like, if you had, a nest ball or something where like, hey, it's lower on HP, or if it's got a stat, like something that makes it worthwhile to use this ball for battling.
Even like something like a Beast Ball for Alpha Pokemon, you know?
Yeah, like I guess
it would make sense more for that to happen in post game. I think than
in post game. Maybe I don't know if it's really necessary because if you look like when you're like looking at the catch rate of things, and like even the alphas. I think it's the base catch rate on an alpha itself that's harder, and I don't think they want you to just go.
Oh no, that's absolutely true.
I can see why. Like, if you catch I randomly caught an alpha, like, I just threw a ball, I'm like, I'm just gonna throw this ball at it and run past it, and if I catch it, I catch it, and I caught it, I was like, what? I didn't think I could catch it, because it was, like, level 70. I'm like, okay.
I mean, you can.
I didn't think I should have caught that, but okay, I'll take it, you know? But
you're able to catch things.
Oh, I know. It was just one of those things of, like, because they don't, it was before I figured out that, essentially, backstrikes will work on some alphas, even though they're insanely high.
Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't really, when you hover up, when you like lock on a Pokemon, you can like see like, oh, will it work? 90% of the time it's just a red X, but it doesn't factor in. You have to like have the ball aiming and at the back, and they have like, you have to have all these components already in place to see that the catch rate is possible, and I didn't even check it, but like, it's just, I don't think they need something for Alpha specifically, because the catch rate on them is essentially almost equivalent to a harder Pokemon in that area. It's just a little higher. And from some of the modifiers I had, it was like, someone were like, oh, this catch should be insanely easy. And I was like, how? You know? Like, but I don't think they need that for that.
It's kind of like the thing that Linian talks about when we do PTU sometimes. When, you know, we're off air, he's talking about how it's sometimes difficult to set up wild encounters because there's a chance, based on how well you roll dice, that you just remove an enemy from the field completely.
Yeah,
as if, like, you power word kill it. So being able to kind of do that is interesting.
Yeah, and to make it like, I think alpha Pokemon are fine with their catch rate too, because again, just to say, hey, here's a threat that's just gone, and that no longer makes it a threat. You know, if you have something that makes it like an instant catch on alphas, not saying it would be an instant catch, but by doing that and removing that like threat, that means alpha Pokemon are no longer a threat in the game at all. Which
that's why it would be post or really hard to get.
Yeah,
like if you catch one, you go, oh god, I caught one. Holy, that's what it should. That should be the feeling, not of like, oh, look at Alpha, I'm gonna go get it. You know, like.
I want to try to move on now.
Yeah.
Instead of just talking about Alpha Pokemon, but I want to talk about the Pokedex completion stuff.
Oh boy. Oh goodness.
I like it for two reasons. One, I like that it can be short if you want it to be short, because you max out a Pokemon's page after completing 10 of the missions on it. But I like, as a completionist, I like the flexibility, because there are something like 30 missions on each page for you to do. And it is like, see, this Pokemon used this attack this many times and stuff like that. So there is like, you can completionist it, and you still get experience to like level up your rank if you go and you do that stuff.
Yeah.
There's rewards that aren't necessary.
I have definitely chosen moves in battle for the specific purpose of leveling up that Pokedex, even if they may not, like, they're not going to be the bad move, but they're just not the optimal move as a battler.
Just grinding research.
The pro move, Seth, is to just go ahead and find two of them that match up. You need Graveler to use Stealth Rock.
Yeah, go fight a bunch of birds.
Yeah, go find a bunch of birds that you're supposed to use a bunch of rock type moves on.
Exactly what I did. Exactly
that's what you do, and you can get 2 for 1. Literally killing 2 birds with 1 stone, Seth.
Yeah.
one of Zoroark's is like, use Nasty Plot like 25 times. I just went up to a choke. It had nothing to hit me with, and I just spammed Nasty Plot 20 times.
Ha!
And I was like, there you go.
Good. I like that.
It's one of those things, and if you do perfect it by perfecting it is completing every research task, it gives you an extra roll on the shiny odds. So there's like it's a worthwhile thing to do.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so actually having a complete dex entry is an extra roll.
Okay.
They took the Sword and Shield shiny hunting method, which isn't really a shiny hunting method.
Oh, shiny hunting and this is great. Should we just transition to that?
No, that's in the end. That's at the end. We're not going to jump into that yet. Okay?
We're good. We're going to be good.
You're going to be good, and you're going to calm down, because I'll let you give me a whole spiel on shiny hunting, and I will cut you off after 5 minutes. Moving on, though. I just really like it. I think it's really cute.
And again, that's where a lot of the content is.
Yeah, I would love for that to keep happening in future Pokemon games. Like, you can still have the gyms, but then you can actually still feel like a researcher, because at the beginning of every Pokemon game, they're like, here's your Pokedex, go fill it in for me. And this would be great.
We're essentially building the dex entries.
Yeah, no, this would be really great. I hope they keep this, and I hope Legends Arceus, outside of the battle system, honestly, is just new Pokemon.
Yeah, I feel like I've already said this a lot. A lot of this is like, the game isn't perfect, no, but a lot of this is a step in the right direction, and that's fantastic. Them seeing, hey, it's a breath of fresh air. Like, them seeing, hey, here's something we're doing, and a lot of people are going like, yeah, there's issues, but hey, this is still good. It's still a good game.
We'll talk about those issues here in a minute.
The coolest feeling, I think, going into it is we all, and probably all you listeners as well, have been playing Pokemon games for ever. And this is classic Pokemon mechanics in some places, some specific callbacks that trigger nostalgia. For example, the flute being the intro music to the Diamond and Pearl games. Oh,
I dislike that flute, by the way.
Oh, I love it.
Not because of the sound, but because they're just like, yeah, we should 3D model this really cool flute that's going to be really central to the mechanics. And they're just like, what should it look like? And somebody goes, a PVC pipe?
PVC pipe? PVC pipe.
A PVC pipe.
Mom, I found the cardboard container for the paper towels.
They could have given it a little bit of something, so they could have sold it as a roleplay toy. That's all I'm saying. Okay,
or put like runes or unknown symbols on it.
Yeah, right. Just some unknowns.
I'm surprised sneezes make that sound though. Because it literally just looks, when you play, it looks like you're like sneezing into the tube, and it just makes like a bunch of different pitches.
It's really complex on the inside, Shamu. Okay.
No, I guess so.
What I was saying, though, is that this game is a really cool hybridization of new stuff that feels different and cool, and old stuff that, a Pokemon fan will understand and be able to approach with. Like, the battles don't get really complicated until after you've had a couple rounds with it. You naturally discover a few things as a player along the line, and may get a tutorial on it later if you haven't caught up to it yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cool to have this hybrid of old Pokemon and new Pokemon at the same time in the same game. So if you've stepped away from main Pokemon, you might step into this and really enjoy it. Like, my brother has been not big on the main Pokemon games for a long time. He's considering buying this because it looks new, interesting, different enough that it would gauge his interest again.
No, I think this is absolutely a direction they should keep going in.
Yeah.
I didn't understand what some people were saying on Twitter, because a lot of people were playing the ROMs early. And they're just like, oh, I'd be okay if this was Pokemon Forever. And I was like, well, I mean, it doesn't have the battle system. And I think that's literally my only gripe at this point, is that, like, I want the traditional battle system for PvP and even maybe in-game battles.
I don't know. I'd be okay with Frostbite being here over Freeze, personally. Give me special burn, thank you.
Yeah.
It's because of just the way, like, special attack and physical attack operate in the meta. But the final thing I wanted to talk about before we can go and let Shamu loose is I want to just talk about the move system briefly, because it is the best thing ever that they should keep forever. So you have one person who is essentially a move tutor, but you don't get the moves for free, and you don't get them by grabbing some bull crap item that you had to do before. You just pay her.
Stupid shard. Yeah. Pay her money, teach a move.
Teach me move, and then my Pokemon has this list of moves that the heart scales used to pay for, but I can just teach it to whatever it used to know all the time.
Isn't it permanent? Yeah, it's permanent on their list.
Yes, it's permanent on their list, and it's great. I also like the battle styles, not because of how they work mechanically in battle. I like them as a way to, like, quote unquote level up moves.
Yeah.
And I really
move master.
I hope they find a way outside of this battle system to incorporate something like that.
I really like the battle styles thing. I hope that stays on it. Like, get rid of action speed, maybe figure out a new thing for agile style. But I really hope that stays. And the cost of being like an extra power point to do a little bit more damage at the cost of, I don't know, maybe your next move does less damage or something like that.
Yeah, I think it would need to be balanced a little bit more than that, because even then, like, power points aren't that much. You can think of a lot of moves with a lot of high power point values that people could just spam. Because also when you go into some of these let's say, not agile style, what's the strong style? What can happen is also it's very close to the Urshifu styles, which I wonder. It's
almost exactly.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah. I wonder if that had anything to do with anything.
Aren't that. I will say this game is the thing is that I don't think that can come to normal games without overhauling the entire combat.
Yeah,
because
they need to do a lot. They need to do a lot.
A lot of moves are nerfed with that in mind, because something like close combat is only 100 base power.
Yeah, and then also think about something like Thunder, right? A lot of these moves when you go to strong style,
I think only 100 base power. It might be 120 actually. I can look at this actually right now.
If you go to like a strong style move though, what happens is it removes the accuracy.
Yep.
Yeah, it's 100.
But that also has 10 PP. And so you could think to yourself, "Oh, I'm just going to spam this with strong style." And it's still 5 PP. Yeah, but that's 5 PP. And that's without PP ups, by the way, Seth. And that's just as many as you'd have with a hydro pump or something. Like,
right. I like it as an idea, though. Like,
I like.
Don't even make it. It doesn't have to be a 50%. It's not a choice item. Make it a 20, a 10.
No, that's what, So strong style is what it comes down to. It's about a fourth or a fifth of your power is added or reduced.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
That's such a cool mechanic and gives
like
Pokemon
60s...
battles so much more, like, not like Dynamax level unpredictability, but like move by move unpredictability. Maybe there's a gauge that you can like then allows you to like. There's options here for mainline.
At this point, we're just making a new mechanic, though, Seth. Like,
yeah, that's true.
At this point, you're just making it. How about they hold a crystal and then the move turns into something else, and you could use it once per battle?
No, stop it.
There are ways to balance it, but they'd have to do it. Because the thing is, this game is a massive overhaul on a lot of stuff. Like, base stats are wonky to a degree, attack stats are wonky.
No, the base stats are fine. They have something new that calculates it. There's a new value.
There's a new value, because I'm saying, like, you'll get a level 5 and it's got, like, 100 base attack.
You know, it's just because of the way the game decides things. The level difference isn't as bad as it used to be. I think you could grab, like, say a level 20 and be able to survive against level 30s and be able to do some damage, and not just like the little itty bitty health bar bit that you used to be able to do before with such a massive difference.
It makes everything a bit more balanced in this sphere, and this is one of the aspects I've seen it done actually well. Like, there's other places where they're like, everything's essentially the same mod.
It makes every area, no matter what level you're in, a little bit scary. That's what I like about it.
No, because a level 30 can destroy your level 50 if it hits right, you know?
Yes.
Like, it's kind of insane. Like, I've gotten one of my mods that it's not really defensive, but it's been like, oh, it just took half from a bite. I'm like, oh my god. Like, it's a huge chunk of damage. Like, I didn't expect that, but like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the moves, like, the styles are good. I think they're fun.
I think it's fun in this context. I think in this context, it makes it fun.
Yeah.
I'm okay with there being two mainline games, one with the more traditional battle system and then one with this battle system. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. Pokemon Legends, next legendary.
Yeah, I don't think they like can kiss. But that's just me. I don't know. I still think we should get Pokemon Legends Unova, and we get Magic Dragon.
No. Skip Unova.
That I could see them doing Unova in the style because it's still the original dragon. They can go
the original dragon. That's a whole new Pokemon in general, and it'd be really cool.
Yeah,
that would be the thing they would go with. And I could see that happening. That would be what I would like to actually see. Though they did take some Pokemon from that gen, so we'll see if that we'll see what they replaced there.
They didn't take any of the Pokemon from this gen. And I mean, it's going to be like a whole space-time ththing like it is now.
They took stuff from Gen 5 and they finished it in this game.
I understand what you mean, but I don't think it means that they won't do Gen 5.
They took... No, I'm not saying... Oh, no, I'm not saying they're not going to do Gen 5, but I'm just saying, like, it's just the fact that they've taken stuff from that gen to do stuff with. They'll just have to take stuff from somewhere else and add it to there as well.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get something from Gen 6, and we'll throw it in.
Yeah, Gen 6, Gen 5, I'll take it.
Or we'll get the Zygarde game we've always wanted.
There you go.
We're done. I want to go and talk about just like a couple of the gripes I have, and maybe you guys have them too. I mean, they're not bad.
I've heard some common complaints.
I think the number one thing that you see in all the reviews, and I agree with them, is the gameplay is really good, the game structure is really good, but the game looks like poop.
The game has some graphical issues.
I'm not even a graphics guy. Okay, I play Nintendo consoles.
No, yeah. I would like to say I can ignore it, but it's hard. It's hard to see when you see
I'm not a graphics guy, Seth. Okay, and this time I sat down and I booted up the game, and I played it on my PC monitors instead because we were streaming it when I started. And man, there's just some moments where I'm just like, I don't know that I can do 40 hours of this. But once I got it onto onto the handheld and I got onto the TV, it was okay. It was more manageable.
Really?
Yeah, I think it might be. There's definitely an issue where it just doesn't have like anti-aliasing on. I think.
Okay.
If it has anti-aliasing, it would be great. The game would be fine.
Yeah.
That's my like major complaint. I don't think it's too bad. I think on the Switch screen with the resolution that is, you're fine.
The one time you'll notice a lot is if it's rain, and I'm sorry to ruin the rain for you, but like the rain and water messes with mechanics not mechanics, but graphics a lot. Like I've caught something in the water, and you just see the Pokeball with like random pixels around it. And I'm like, what? Okay, I look away. I just like look away. I'm like,
It glitches out.
You'll see the pixels on your trainer.
Huh.
Like I could see like the little hair clip in the back for the female. It's like a maybe 15 pixel image there. It's like it looks bad in the rain.
Okay, maybe I'm just not picky. I
like the trainers because they get affected by the weather in a sense. Like you'll see them like actually look wet, and then the snow they actually have like the snow on them and like freezing. Mm-hmm. It looks good, but it messes with the graphical stuff in the game because this is not meant. The Switch can't handle this. I don't think is what the issue.
Okay.
is.
I think my issue is more that they just need higher res textures and they just need higher res models. And I think they made a sacrifice because of the draw distance that they have on the Pokemon spawns.
It's that, and I think it's the system capabilities too. I don't think the Switch can actually handle this to a degree, and they had to like balance stuff out.
I don't know if the Switch can handle Breath of the Wild. I think the Switch could handle this. I think Pokemon's in a similar style though to Breath of the Wild.
It's definitely a different set of textures.
I think you could make higher res textures.
Like you could. I'm not saying you can't, but it's the fact that it's not. They don't look the same at all. I don't see them.
We're gonna have to agree to disagree.
I wouldn't compare it to Breath of the Wild other than an open world game.
I'll be the contrarian here as well and say that as far as graphics are concerned, I haven't had much complaint. But maybe, like I said, maybe I'm just not picky. Maybe I have rose-colored glasses.
It's not constant. There are situations where it happens.
It definitely gets better. It's definitely gotten better for me as time's gone on.
Yeah,
but there's definitely that. It's a minor nitpick because, like I said, I'm not a huge graphics guy. But there are moments where it's just like distractingly bad. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Yeah, I haven't had that yet, so.
It's one of those things where you spot it and it's hard to just notice it's there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like the arrow in FedEx.
It's like, that's what I'm saying, like, I try to ignore it, but I see it and it's just there. And I'm like, I wish I didn't see that. It's like when someone points out the spot on the movie screen. It's like that stain or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like that thing, like, that, like, I don't want to see that. Like, it's like the rain.
Starbucks coffee cup in Game of Thrones kind of things.
Yeah, exactly. And the problem is it happens all the time. You'll accidentally pay attention to it and you'll be like, oh, man.
Oh, dang it.
Yeah.
Like the fact that the Disney D is actually a letter D. That took me like 20 years to see.
I thought it was a funky G for a while, okay?
Yeah, I thought it was like a treble clef or something.
I have another little nitpick or two. The one thing I've heard some people say too is the fact that like the world seems kind of empty, and I can't agree or really totally disagree with them because there's some times where it's just like
I think it's meant to be though.
It is kind of meant to be. I feel
that's the point.
You're establishing the world.
Yeah, like I get it, and I also like it's one of those complaints where I get it, but I also don't get it because I'm like I don't know.
Have these people ever gone to like the woods before? Because I've been to the woods,
right?
And you don't just see deer walking around.
Like I get it. I get sometimes because like I've done running around, and it's like I kind of wish this wasn't just like this a little more because sometimes it does feel empty after a little bit. But it's also one of those things of like it's kind of I think partially meant to be like what do you want? Do you want a crammed pack full of stuff? Like
right?
I don't think I'd want that.
You need to have you need to have it be empty because if not, you can't sneak on anything, which is a problem I was having very early on.
There are some areas where it's insanely hard to sneak, and I wish there was a bit more grass or a bit more like clear cover.
Yeah, exactly. You like go to the Obsidian Fieldlands, you're having a good time, and then you go to the Crimson, whatever it's called.
Yeah, there's no grass anywhere. That was the Goomy problem that I had.
There's like no grass, and there's like 17 Carnivine everywhere, and they'll like instantly want to kill you.
Right?
You're just like, oh, this isn't like the Obsidian Fieldlands at all.
This is the worst.
Yeah, there's some areas where it's like it's overpopulated, and there's some where it's like not populated at all.
I think they need to like turn down the Pokemon aggression knob just like a little bit on a couple of the Pokemon.
No. Turn down nothing. Turn down for what?
I think it's okay because that's a difficulty thing that makes that Pokemon harder. I think most of them are fine.
I want to feel threatened.
I do agree, might be one or two, but they're more of the fringe case because they're not that common.
That's fair.
Alongside with the little thing there, there's a couple times where the game will chug, and there are crashes can happen. You can leave autosave on, or you can turn it off. Up to you, if you want to take that risk. I've had it crash on me once at least. I think that's only been once for me.
I haven't had it crash at all.
Not me either.
It has chugged for me twice. Like the screen stopped. It stopped playing. I'm like,
really?
Yeah.
Are you on a launch switch?
I'm on a launch switch.
No,
I haven't
this
had
is a newer one.
Okay.
It's not brand new, but at least it's not launched. This is not a launch switch.
Mine's better. Maybe I'm not far enough in. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what was happening. I don't know if it was a bunch of things were moving or it just kind of triggered something. I don't know. Because I know I will say the crash happened when I panicked. I sent something out. I rolled. I think a bunch of stuff happened at the same time, and it just caused it to just kind of panic, freak out, and then crash. It has autosave on by default, so it shouldn't be an issue. But I guess if no one else has anything to say, I'll go transition to why you might want to have autosave off.
Release the Kraken.
Tell us about that, and then tell us about shiny hunting, and then we're gonna end it.
Yeah.
Well, because the reason you want autosave off is for shiny hunting.
Explain.
So the game, what we talked about earlier with the research, where if you have a perfect one, or if you have a completed one, it gives you an extra shiny roll. If you have a perfected one, it gives you another shiny roll on top of that.
Okay.
But there are also things called outbreaks, which can happen randomly. Post-game, they happen a lot more often.
Oh.
I've seen them happen before. I went and I caught a bunch of Togepi when it happened.
Yeah. They happen much more rarely in the main story, but afterwards, I've got 2 active right now in 2 different areas. So it's they will happen more commonly post-game from what I can tell. But what they do is, with no modifiers, they make the shiny chance go from 1 in 4,000 to 1 in 500 and something.
Oh my gosh.
Really? 1 in 500 at the outbreak?
That's with no addition. That's flat.
That's nothing.
Flat.
Oh my gosh.
So then you still get the extra rolls from the completed research if you've done that.
Because what it does is I'm gonna try to pull it up real quick before
Well, the math gets pretty easy then, it feels like, if it goes to 1 in 500.
Because what it does is it gives you an extra 25 rolls for a shiny.
That's so many. That's good though.
Wow.
I like this.
But the thing is, when you go to the area, I don't know if I haven't confirmed this or not, or I don't know exactly if it's taking this into account already. But when you go to an outbreak, up to 4 Pokemon will spawn at the same time.
Yes.
So if my math is right, that would make it 4 out of 151. Because you have 4 spawns.
You have 4 rolls. Yeah, you're essentially getting 4 rolls. Yes.
Yeah, and they will spawn. Cerebi says 15 minutes, but as far as I'm aware, they spawn up to 10 Pokemon. So if you knock one out, another one will spawn up to 10.
I don't think it's 15 minutes because I definitely went to an outbreak and it ended very quickly because I just threw balls at them and caught them all.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. It's it might be a 15-minute timer in the long run, but if you catch, I think the Pokemon limit is 10.
Yeah, I think there's a limit on the number of Pokemon for sure. I mean, 10's still good. Yeah, it's 10 Pokemon where you get that extra 25 rolls is pretty decent.
And the thing with a save mechanic in this game, if you save in the area, it saves everything in the overworld.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
It does.
For example, you see a shiny in the wild, you can save right then and there, and if that shiny runs away, reload your save.
Yep.
Oh.
And that's why you might want to have autosave off, because if you do certain things, it'll just trigger the autosave and save over.
Mm-hmm.
Or say, because for example, I'm in Jubilife right now. I've got a outbreak in another area. I'm saving before I go to that area, so when I go to that area, it'll generate a new overworld for me.
Understood. Okay.
If I had autosave on and went there, it would have autosaved with that current overworld. So and if there was a shiny there, it's cool. But if there's not, then I lose 4 encounters.
Understandable.
Because every time you go somewhere, the overworld will it'll regenerate. Everything will spawn.
I enjoy this. This is a much better shiny hunting method, in my opinion.
I like it too.
Yeah.
And it is. It totally is. Because and with how the catching mechanics works, it feels so much better to do.
We haven't had a good shiny hunting method, I think, since DexNav.
Oh, even I didn't care for DexNav myself. This is the first
I like
one,
DexNav.
I really enjoy this. I'm actually shiny hunting actively. I'm trying to. If I see something I want, I'm gonna go for it. I had a Voltorb. I missed it. I didn't get the Voltorb, unfortunately, but I messed it up. I didn't really figure it out until later. I've got one now. I've got a Zoroark active. I'm gonna hunt that thing. I'm gonna get one of those things before that thing goes away. I'm not letting that go. I want that.
Understandable.
So it's just, and it feels much more doable too when you've got 1 in 150 odds. You've got a bunch of spawns.
Absolutely. It's like chain fishing.
Yeah, and even then, this is much more active. It's more it's more action based. It's more.
No, it's something that requires some skill, which is something that I think I've hated about shiny hunting since we didn't have it in Dex Nav.
It's easy to, like, it feels like it's much more reasonable to get it shiny, too. Did it make the odds super low? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if people really want it because they're rare, okay. But, like, I think this makes it much more accessible.
We've got people going out on community days for shinies all the time in Pokemon Go.
I think Go the whole other beast. That's insane.
It's a similar-ish, like, shiny rate on community days. So, like, I don't feel too bad about it.
But yeah, it is really, like, it's really nice to be able to go out and do, and, like, you can even just get one randomly. There's a side quest you can do to get one guaranteed shiny, I will say.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing every time. You've probably seen it, but I won't say what it is in case you want to spoil it. You don't want to know.
That makes sense. This is a good overview. I think we did it. I think we talked about
I
it.
feel like there's one little thing I was gonna pop in there. I just can't remember what it was.
And that's okay. Save it for next time.
There's so many things like that. So
there's a bajillion little things.
There are.
I love it.
Game good.
Game good.
Game good. There are downsides, sure, but the game is still good and worth $60.
I think the downsides are like super minor.
They're super minor compared to what they've given us.
Yeah, I think compared to past Pokemon games, this feels like effort was put into it. Like, for the lack of a better descriptor.
For such a breath of fresh air, I'm okay with inhaling a little bit of smoke or dust by accident, you know? I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like, for how good this is like...
That's a good metaphor.
They're doing a whole new thing. I can understand that there's some issues. That's fine. It's understandable. It's like, it's your first time doing something like this in a sense, too. It's like, you have to transfer it. They did a damn well job doing it.
They did a good job.
It's not like the game itself is broken. It's just like, it's more aesthetic stuff, if anything, really.
Mm-hmm. Well, on that note, then, we are going to end it. We'll end this part. And then we're going to go to the Pokemon of the episode.
Woo!
Woo! So let's go ahead and we'll kick it on over. But thank you all for listening, and we will catch you on the flip-flop.
Poke of the episode.
And welcome to the Pokemon of the episode. The Pokemon of the episode this week is National Dex number 484, Palkia, the spatial Pokemon.
It's Pokemon Black and White Pokedex entry states, a legendary Pokemon of Sinnoh. It is said that space becomes more stable with Palkia's every breath.
Does it, though? I don't know. It's always expanding.
He's been breathing a long time.
He's been breathing a very long time.
I'm looking at the trivia, and I'm just like, apparently Palkia is the highest IQ group.
Oh, yeah.
It takes this position in IQ Group J, and is the only Pokemon in IQ Group J.
What is that? What does this mean?
It's from Mystery Dungeons.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that Mystery Dungeon thing? Okay, I don't know. I'm just like looking at them like...
Yeah, it's Mystery Dungeon. No, it's the smartest Pokemon.
Like, I'm surprised that, like, it's like, the trivia it has is weird. Like, at the end of one of Palkia's roars in the anime, a roar from Mecha King Ghidorah, a kaiju from the 1991 Toho film. Yeah, from Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah can be heard.
No, they use that, and they use the same exact sound for, like, Obi-Wan Kenobi's mount.
Right?
Yeah, in Obi-Wan Kenobi's mount in, The Return of the Sith, or The Revenge of the Sith, is what it's called.
It's just like, surprisingly, like, it's actually got some fun trivia.
Anime sound for Palkia was very jarring to me when I first heard it, because I'm like, that's from Revenge of the Sith.
Star Wars. Obi-Wan's falling in the bug pit.
I can't make that noise. It's impossible. All right, so Palkia is a legendary Pokemon. It's got a base stat total of 680, which is pretty solid for any Pokemon. It turns out that water dragon. There's that type that escaped me. Just not thinking right now. I want to go play PLA. My 3D printer. But his stats aren't bad. Base 100 speed, base 150 special attack, 100 defense, 120 special defense. I mean, he's a legendary. I don't know what you people want.
Right. Yeah.
But it also makes an appearance typically because it's a decent counter to Kyogre right now and in VGC. And the most popular core currently, because it's the two legendary core, is Zacian Kyogre. And you're not stopping Zacian, so you might as well stop Kyogre. You might as well stop Kyogre, and that's what we've got today.
Very fair.
We've got our Palkia that's meant to stop Kyogre with a Zacian. And so today we've got Palkia holding its life orb with 252 HP, 44 defense, 76 special attack, 28 special defense, 108 speed, and a modest nature. It is Protect. It's got Protect because this is VGC. Spatial Rend because why not? Hydro Pump, and Earth Power. It's typically what you see run on like a Dialga, except in the place of Special Rend, you'll get like Roar of Time, so if you go big, you can hit hard, and you'll get Flash Cannon or something instead of Hydro Pump. Though I think it gets Steel Beam now.
It does get Steel Beam, I'm pretty sure. So I probably ran
It's a Steel type, so yeah.
Yeah.
And get
nuke something out of orbit.
Yeah, exactly. Zacian Crowned is here. Surprise, surprise.
Wow.
I think literally every team in VGC has a Zacian Crown now.
If they want to win, yeah.
Yes. I think everything, like, it's just like, oh, what 5 Pokemon are you going to run with your Zacian? Because Zacian is the most broken Pokemon of all time, including Mega Rayquaza, by the way. I'm including Mega Rayquaza there.
I agree with you.
I think it beats Mega Rayquaza. But it's holding a Rusted Sword because that's the only nerf we can give it, is make it hold a wet sword. Because it doesn't matter anyway, because it just has a Choice Band as an ability. Not even choice. Yep. Just like the effect of a Choice Band as an ability. An Intrepid Sword. It is 252 HP here in this case, because bulky Zacian doesn't get knocked out by other Zacian very easily. 76 attack, 4 defense, 36 special defense, 140 speed. Adamant nature. It's protect, substitute Behemoth Blade, which is Iron Head. For those of you, if you have a Zacian and you get one from a distribution, it's going to be Iron Head, because that turns into Behemoth Blade. And then play rough. But yeah, it's...
all you need is dual stab.
I mean, that is all you need, because Fairy is the most busted type in Pokemon. It is just too good. Fairy needs a nerf.
The thing that resisted don't have stats that actually can resist things. Like, oh, cool, look, like, the only one that's, like, bulky, I think, that can actually deal with Fairy is, like, essentially either, like, Magearna, nothing that you can use in
you need a bulky steel type or a bulky fire type. Like, you need Heatran.
Yeah, like, I just think, like, Heatran and Magearna are, like, the only two that would be, like, they can actually deal with a Fairy type super easily. Nothing else can, like, I can think of, like, that. It's like, it's just, like, it just deals with Fairy instantly. It's like, no, because it's either, like, the other types are just, like, you don't have defense.
Fairy
like,
Steel is just busted.
Like, there are a couple defensive poisons, but not many. Like,
Fairy Steel is just busted. It's just Fairy Steel. It's just too good, I think, as a type combination. Because you're getting the immunity to one of Fairy's weaknesses. One of Fairy's, like, 2 weaknesses? Which is dumb. Fairy needs another weakness. That's what I'm saying. And because it does. It does. No,
Let Fairy be broken.
Fairy's too broken.
Make Bug super effective.
I actually agree with this. I agree with Bug being made super effective.
I just kind of, my personal thing, I just want Bug to have another use. It just hits grass types and psychic type, and grass, psychic, dark.
It resists Bug for no reason.
Yeah.
Fairies control bugs in the wilderness.
Yeah.
Fairies ride bugs around.
That would be the other way around then, because then why are the bugs resisting the Fairy?
Bugs doesn't resist Fairy.
It should. Because right now.
Bug does not resist Fairy.
It doesn't. Oh. No. Fairy resists Bug.
Yeah, because that's their mount.
That's what happens right now, which is unfortunate to Bug, because like they're like, hey Bug, you're on the ground, and they're like stomping on it. They're like, now Fairy resists you too, huh? And Bug's like, please just stop.
Good.
Please just, Fairy's too good. I will die on that hill. I'll absolutely die on that hill.
Thatch's takes.
Yeah, Thatch's take. I already died on the wrong hill once, okay? Very recently, and I'm okay with that, actually, so.
Yep.
People are upset at me about it, but yeah, I'll talk about it next week.
Well.
Yeah. that hill. Yeah, I know what hill.
I'll talk about it next week.
I think, I didn't mention that yet. I'm like, I shouldn't mention that.
No, I'll talk about it next week, and I will enrage people with my amount of not caring.
It's Armored Evolution. That's what it is.
Yep.
Surprise. Anyway, Moving on. It's Incineroar on the team, and it's got a Figgy Berry, because that's probably its best item. Ability is, of course, Intimidate, the thing that allows it to be usable. And its EVs are as follows: 252 HP, 4 attack, 68 defense, 172 special defense, and 12 speed. He's a thick boy.
Incineroar's awful. I hate it because it's everywhere in VGC. I hate it.
But it's also so good. That's why it's there.
It's super good.
Like, we complain about Lando. That thing was at 91% usage in Gen 7 for a hot minute.
Yeah.
Like, it's nonsense.
It's so good.
This is worse Lando in VGC. It's just...
Yeah.
It's awful. I just like it.
We complain about something with 45% usage, and here's this, like you said, with 90.
Yeah.
I'm going to complain about it now, because it is at 45 still.
Yeah, this is the aspect we were talking about earlier with, like, the meta being kind of stale.
It is. No, it is.
It's literally like the same mons just keep popping up, because it's like, okay, you know, I get why they're good. It's just like, I'm sick and tired of seeing Zash now that they've allowed Ubers in again for the 7th time.
I blame a lot of things. They let Incineroar in stupid early. They should not have done that, because they let the Gen 7 starters come in like as soon as Home came out, and they let those Pokemon be legal for VGC immediately. So Incineroar's been around almost the entirety of Gen 8 VGC. And it's just like, could you have not? Like, it would have been...
Are you saying you're pro Dexit?
I am pro how we let Pokemon in a very trickle-like fashion, and even prior to Dexit, they had that happen in their VGC formats by limiting it to certain national dex numbers the first year, which would have excluded things like Incineroar if we were to have that format. So this has nothing to do with the exit. This has everything to do with how they're trickling Pokemon in. And I think they shouldn't have trickled in Incineroar when they trickled in Incineroar.
Oh, well. Well, let me complete what this Incineroar is running as if it's going to be a surprise to anybody. It's got a Careful Nature on top of that EV spread that you mentioned, and its moveset is Fake Out, Flare Blitz, Parting Shot, and Throat Chop. So,
boom.
Yeah, it's pretty standard Incineroar. Huzzah.
Yep. You got the next one too, technically, I guess.
Yep. On top of other standard VGC items, we've got Amoonguss holding a Koba Berry. What's that, flying?
No, it's flying.
Koba is flying. Koba? No, Koba's definitely flying.
I would feel fly makes sense for Gigantamax.
Pretty sure it's flying.
Because of Dynamax. It's flying. It is flying. Koba is flying.
Cool. So anyway, Amoonguss holding Koba Berry with the ability of Regenerator, because why not? This one's shiny on the team export, but who cares? EVs are 236 HP, 92 defense, and 180 special defense with a calm nature. It's got, I don't know if this is just because of how it is in the game or if this is for a specific number, but the IVs, of course, are 0 attack, and then the odd one, 27 speed. I'm not sure what that's for, if that's
it's probably
accidental.
To outspeed something very specific with Spore.
Yeah.
But also
and underspeed everything else. I don't know.
No, it's probably to underspeed. Why would you run lower speed? You're not running Trick Room. It's to underspeed something, just don't know what it would be.
Underspeed one thing and overspeed another.
Yeah.
It puts you right in the middle, I imagine. We're guessing here. We don't know.
Something.
We don't have a description.
Yep.
But anyway, the moveset is Protect, Spore, Rage Powder, and Giga Drain. Pretty standard Amoonguss, too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then we've got possibly a reason why we have Koba Berry and Amoonguss for others, but
yeah.
Thunderous with an Assault Vest, and Defiant with 164 HP, 84 attack, 4 defense, 4 special defense, and 252 speed with a Jolly Nature, running Wild Charge, Fly, Brick Break, Crunch. I assume this is just a secondary Dynamax target.
No, they usually use it as that, and Brick Break is to break things because or break screens because you'll typically have like a Grimmsnarl or something equivalent on the other side doing that.
Yep. And then speaking of a Grimmsnarl, we also have a Grimmsnarl.
That's actually a super standard Thunderous nowadays, too.
It is. Because it's a very good screen setter, so it's obviously... It's just Light Clay Prankster. It is Gigantamax form, so if you want to go for that, you can. 236 HP, 4 attack, 108 defense, 148 special defense, 12 speed with a Careful Nature, Spirit Break, Thunderwave, Reflect Light Screen, so just dual screens.
Mm-hmm.
So you're essentially just kind of using, you got your 2 legend there, you're just using to counter or just sweep through something, and then essentially everything else is essentially support for them, and then Thunderous also, again, it's a bit more offensive support, being like, go big, click fly, give things speed, Brick Break to break other screens if you need to. You can lower special defense for Palkia with Max Dark. It really comes down to protect the king, protect the tower, whatever.
You just want to make the Pokemon go burr.
You're just trying to support your big Uber as best as possible with either redirection,
that's most Pokemon.
Something,
this has been VGC
sleeping.
Forever.
Yeah,
and this is the season that everybody hates, so it works out. It works out well.
It just shows a lot right now because even before it wasn't that bad. It was more you got a 1 or 2 support mods on a team, then you got a bunch of offensive utility stuff. This is just you got your 2 kings.
I don't know if you've ever watched it's the GS Cup. The GS Cup always does this. It's just here's your 2 Ubers, make them work, make them go burr.
Yeah, no, I know GS Cup. GS Cup is I hate Legends.
This is GS Cup. But yeah, all right. So if you're a patron, you can grab these Pokemon at patreon.com/puclpodcast. If you're at the proper tier, we're going to give away the shinies. This is the 3rd week in a row I think we've done Incineroar, so I'll probably give you the Incineroar and something else for Sword and Shield, so you can try these teams out yourself. We just need to go ahead and do that. We'll figure it out. You know what? You guys just tell me what you want. We'll put a poll up or something. But yeah, we're going to call it there, and we're going to kick it on over to the mailbag.
Send in your emails. Mail!
And welcome to the Mailbag. The Mailbag is the part of the show where you can send an email into us at puclpodcast@gmail.com, and we typically have a prompt for you guys to answer. Last week we asked you guys what you thought of Legends so far, but also what you think might be a good way to introduce somebody to the Pokemon franchise. We've got a few emails to go through here today. We got a few that gave us decent responses, and you can go ahead and we're going to read some of them now. Before I forget,
Oh, yeah.
this segment is brought to you by the fictional energy drink Green Toros, the energy drink that gives you hooves.
Hooves!
And as always, we'll give out the Green Toros badge to whoever sparks good conversation. Our first email this week, though, is going to be from Bub. What it do, Puckle crew? I have been listening to the podcast weekly since Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I wanted to start by saying thank you for making my Monday night closes much better. It's the end of a 6-day week for me, and listening to you all allows me to have a more positive headspace so I can finish the week as strong as I started. Well, you're welcome, brother. As for the first question, I cannot wait for Legends Arceus. I love that it is new and fresh-looking exploration of the Pokemon world. If I had to identify one thing I'm most excited for, it would have to be the capture mechanics in the game. Given that it looks like aiming will require skill, I can almost see getting together with my friends and seeing who can make the craziest shot. I wish you could do it on Weird Deer. That's my biggest complaint, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They let you do it on Basculegion.
That's the only one you can do it on.
I know, and it's really frustrating. I want to do it on all of them.
It is.
Basculegion one feels real good, and I really wish you could do it on Weird Deer.
If you could, it would break it a bit too much.
You'd be running through a field just chucking balls. Like, yes.
I think it would kind of ruin it a little bit, but I do wish it, but like at the same time, I wish there was I think I wish there was more combat maneuvers, you know?
Other than dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
You take that risk of jumping off Weird Deer to do it.
Oh, that'd be cool. Okay, moving on. After all, we had fun messing around with the physics engines in various games. For the second question, I'm actually in the process of introducing new fans to the games right now. My nephew is 6 and started playing Pokemon Shield. He has cleared the first gym and has spent about 20 hours just exploring in-game, rather than taking the second gym on right away. Whenever he plays, he likes to sit on my lap and ask me various questions about Pokemon and characters in the game. Thank God for the Puckle Trivia and Game Corner, because sometimes they get real specific. Pokemon has been a huge part of his life since the beginning, though. The day he was born, I went out and bought a Pikachu and the Kanto starters. He has grown up snuggling with various Pokemon plushes and various games built around them that were good for him at various points of his development. Then he saw me play Pokemon Go on my phone when he was 3. He became obsessed with Psyduck. Is your nephew Junichi Masuda? Which drove him into learning the most he could about every Pokemon. As time went on, he asked for the toys, the plushes, and the movies. He has spent hours reading every Pokemon handbook I could find, and he has found a level of confidence in knowing more about it than every adult in his life. That's a really good thing, because he's very timid and a shy kid. I will always love Pokemon because of this. It has allowed us to have a thing together, and that is carried on to his sister and his cousins. I'm calling it now. In 20 years, every single one of them will be better at Pokemon than I am now. Do any of them want to run a Pokemon podcast and take mine? I also attached some pictures for the podcaster's enjoyment. I originally only planned to get a dozen or so plushes. Now there are 37.
Oh my god. Last year there were 37.
But last year there were 38! But realistically, how can we have a proper game of finding all the hidden Pokemon around the house with only a dozen?
Oh, that's so cute.
That is.
The action figures originally went with a large wooden dollhouse I got for them so they could do imagination play and create various scenarios where Ash, Misty, Brock would cook, face Team Rocket, or simply just have a conversation. P.S. The Crown Royal bag used to be what my niece used as a purse so she could carry her favorite Pokemon around with her.
Yikes.
I cannot wait until she's a couple years older and I can finally play the games with her too. Finally, we have been doing theme days with the kids, Unicorn Day, Room on a Broom Day, etc., etc. What is Room on a Broom Day? What does that mean?
Tell us in next week's email, Bub, please. We have to know.
What does that mean? I am so curious. The general idea is snacks, a movie, themed activities, and whatever else we can think of as a fun thing for the kids to do. This is amazing. You are the best uncle ever. I am planning a Detective Pikachu Day. There will be a scavenger hunt that will require both my niece and nephew to work together to find a new Mewtwo action figure, a tea party where they drink hot chocolate as a stand-in for coffee, a matching game with Pokemon cards, and of course, custom Pokemon cookies from a local bakery. These kids have a pretty good life. Yeah, you're telling me. And I love being a part of it. Sorry for the long email. I was just really excited when I heard about this prompt. I can't wait to hear what other people have been doing to share their love of the franchise with others. As the journey continues, Bub.
Okay, I did a quick Google search for Room on a Broom, and apparently it's a children's story, so I assume it's based something around that.
Oh,
I believe this.
It was capitalized too in the email, so it's
yeah.
It's a thing.
Just like, is there something different than that? It's like, it's probably just. I assume it's just something based on that, but he can tell us next week to more detail if he so desires.
All right, so the next one is going to be from Marmalade.
What a do, Puckle Crew? Today I have a question. Why wouldn't Mystery Dungeon be a good introduction to the franchise?
It's very complicated and not representative. Done.
Yeah, like flat. Like first thing thinking is just like I don't consider it a Pokemon game. I consider it a side story, like a different genre of game with the Pokemon characters and essentially like if you want someone to actually play a Pokemon game, I don't consider that's not a classic Pokemon game. You know, like that's you want a dungeon crawler, cool, but that's not a Pokemon like the main RPG style game.
You can't even put them in your pocket.
What?
But to continue on, especially if you want a story-based game, though, I think it'd be a decent starting point. They've aged very well in terms of graphics and story, while offering a large roster of Pokemon to interact with at the time. I'm mostly asking because I'm super biased towards Red Blue Rescue Team, since they're probably my favorite Pokemon games, but Explorers of Time / Darkness Sky are also very solid games.
I heard Sky's the best. I've started it, but I've never finished it.
I think that's where
Sky is my favorite.
I've heard a lot of good things about it. I've never finished it either.
The only Mystery Dungeon game I finished was DX.
I never finished anything past Sky because I just can't get into them. Sky did it.
I tried the one on the 3DS that was too easy.
With Super Mystery Dungeon? That one was, I didn't really care for how they did a lot of the stuff with it.
I didn't like it.
Finish it.
I didn't like it.
I also think it'd be really funny to introduce the series with Pokemon Rangers, since there's nothing really else like it in the series. It'd be kind of funny to see someone actually like get into these things because of Mystery Dungeon, or not Mystery Dungeon, but Rangers. But
yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of anybody who got into Pokemon from a spin-off game. If you have, let us know. I'm interested to know what your life is like.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, I don't think a spin-off game is where you would start for the main franchise. That's the thing. Like,
my first Pokemon game was Pokemon Pinball. Please tell me if that person exists.
Pokemon Quest.
Oh no.
Stop.
As a side note, for the end of the email, I'd totally watch a Saturday morning cartoon block over at the Discord if it was organized. You should just watch Power Rangers from season... Just watch Power Rangers from season 1 since they're all on YouTube now. Or get to do the Pokemon anime. You actually were watching that. You were watching that in Discord, like, was it last night?
No, we were watching it before Pokemon Legends Arceus, like, broke at midnight. We were watching
Thursday.
We were waiting on Thursday night for the game to unlock.
That's funny.
So Marmalade and I were sitting in voice watching Power Rangers.
Oh, this was also 17 hours ago. So it's already done. Or you can do the Pokemon anime. Hope everyone else is having fun with Legends. I don't have any plans to get it yet, but maybe I'd grab it sometime soon. You should. See you on the flip-flop, Marmalade.
Oh, they do ask if there's any updates on the Green Taurus badges. I'm still identifying a manufacturer because US-based ones have like wildly different prices. I'm pretty close. It should be like next week or so. I'm going to put the order in. So I will keep things updated on those Green Taurus badges. All right. Our last one is going to be for Seth to read, and it is going to be from Tia.
All right. Greetings, Seth, Shamu, and Thatch. It's Tia here, writing Tia's first email for the 2022 year. I take it most people are on that Legends Arceus train. I'm here to discuss the other thing, how to get your friends or people into Pokemon. My solution is to offer a trade. Do you guys remember that trade deal meme?
No.
Oh, I hate that. That meme was terrible. I didn't want to remember it. I got it out of my brain. Now
you're welcome. Anyway. My solution is to offer a trade, like, hey, I'll play that game you keep telling me about if you give Legends Arceus a try. The difficult part is playing both games at the same pace and trying not to be too overbearing when it comes to the game. Don't be somebody who pushes what makes Pokemon great, rather let other people experience it. And the same goes for the other person. After that, if they don't like it, then they don't like it. Or you can both play Pokemon Unite and complain how your teammates suck. That's a classic bonding moment. May the 22 season bring us all... Tia.
May the 2022... that pause is necessary. May the 2022 season bring us all... Nothing at all, please.
Bring us all... Nothing. The void.
Pokemon Legends Arceus DLC. That is all I want.
I think Arceus wouldn't be a bad thing to start. Like, it's one weird, like, spin-off. I think it might not be bad to start with.
It's not even a spin-off. It's not a spin-off. It's a mainline game.
I don't know if I'd call it a spin-off or a main game. Like, I don't know what I'd call it. Because it feels like a main game, but it feels like a spin-off. I don't know.
It's kind of like what I was saying about my brother earlier, where he's heard me talk about how different it is, how it's similar to his games that he plays right now, and he saw me play it a little bit yesterday, and he is looking to get back into it because of this game.
Because I think the biggest difference is that Pokemon's a turn-based RPG. This is like an action it's much more of an action-based RPG in a sense with certain things, like the catching and stuff.
It's got the turn-based elements in it. I think you could, like we said earlier.
It's turn-based, but it's also action-based in a sense, too. Like, you have to do actual...
It is.
Like, it's a weird hybrid where I think, like, people are more drawn toward the actual, like, real-time stuff of it and not just the turn-based. Like,
yeah.
I think it also, like, advertising to a different market, and I think that's helping people get into it.
I think what they've been trying to do is run multiple paths for Pokemon simultaneously, where they try to have, like, you have your main series game, because obviously Legends Arceus isn't replacing Swish, it's the competitive title, and we're still going to have competitive traditional Pokemon, but they're introducing other games that can go in alongside of it that can hit other audiences. And honestly, this kind of feels like they're trying to corner that action market to some extent, because it's not, I wouldn't say this is exactly like Monster Hunter or anything, but they're trying to do something like that. And Nintendo wants its own genre on that. And it's kind of like how we can have Mario Golf, but also Mario 64, right? It's just, right, it's like that, but for Pokemon. And I think that's definitely something that we should remember. We should hold and cherish. Well, traditional Pokemon obviously still sells well, looking at the sales numbers from BDSP, at least the initial sales numbers. I don't think they're going to let that go, and I don't think their plan is to stop doing traditional Pokemon, but I do think they do plan on having different ideas for Pokemon and letting it try to do things. I think Let's Go is the first step into that, and it was, in my opinion, a failure, but maybe we get Let's Go Johto this year or some nonsense that doesn't need to exist. That's like the wrong game to exist too, right? Like when we're missing like the Pokemon.
Johto sucks.
We're missing 60 Pokemon from not that.
I just think we're gonna see Legends become the new like Let's Go, but it's much better than Let's Go, because I could see a way they can do it for Johto. I could see a way they can do it for like Gen 5, Gen 6.
Only thing I would say about that is, like, I'm not like, I don't agree with Joe Merrick all the time, but he did make a very good point that you have 3 titles or 3 lines right now. You have the Let's Go line, which could still continue. I don't think it should, but it could still continue. You have the mainline game like Sword and Shield, and you've got, or mainline, I'm going to put in quotes, because these are all technically mainline games, but you've got the traditional game like Sword and Shield, and then you've got the Legends line. And you've got one that's like various skill levels. You've got Let's Go being for newcomers. You've got Legends Arceus being for the more hardcore Pokemon fan. And then you've got the traditional one where everybody kind of comes together. And I kind of hope that they continue that. And I mean, I'd be okay if that's how they wanted to do it moving forward. As long as they give us more Legend stuff alongside the Let's Go stuff, you can do Let's Go all you want. Motion controls are awful and the Switch Lite exists, so Nintendo probably doesn't want that anymore. So
I think Arceus has motion controls too. I haven't played with them, but
I imagine if they have the motion controls, it's probably more like the Splatoon type motion controls, where like moving it probably gives you some kind of wiggle room on your aim. That's my. Yeah, I haven't played it with you yet. It's my intention to. It's my intention to. But on that note, Green Taurus badge. My vote's Bub.
Yep, I was gonna say Bub.
Bub, you win the Green Taurus badge. It's not even the pictures.
Not saying we're encouraging that, but like the raising of your nieces and nephews story is incredible.
The indoctrination.
Yeah. We encourage indoctrination here at PUCL.
Yes.
That's how we really get people into the Pokemon series, indoctrinating them. That's how you really do it, and he embraced it very well.
What you do is you take your friend, you tape them to a chair, you tape their eyelids open, and then you shove in the VHS tape of the first 3 episodes of the Pokemon anime.
Robot Chicken intro.
No, what do they mean?
And then you just start shoving in VHS tapes, okay? Until you run out of them. Some guy did a YouTube video on that recently, and I watched it. It was more interesting than it should have been. Moving on. We're going to go ahead and end the show here. If you want to email us next week at puclpodcast@gmail.com, though, let us know what you think of Pokemon Legends Arceus now that you've had a chance to play it. We would love to hear your thoughts. Or if you haven't gotten it, are you thinking about getting it? Are you not going to get it? Why not? puclpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to keep up with us throughout the week, pucklediscord.com is the best place to do it. That's where we all hang out. You can come say hi, and Shamu will be playing some kind of game in voice channel, I'm sure.
Probably.
I don't think Shamu sleeps anymore. I don't know anymore.
I slept for 4 hours.
For 4 hours.
My alarms work now, so I get to wake up. I get less sleep now, now that my alarms work.
My God.
And then, of course, you can follow us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You can also go ahead and follow us over at YouTube at youtube.com/puclpodcast, where we got new videos going up almost every day of the week now. The podcast is I include in that, so it's like kind of fake, but it's there. And it is my intention, because February starting, that I'm going to start doing like Thatch plays ranked VGC on YouTube. So definitely check that out. Watch me go from a 0 to an almost hero By almost, I mean, I'm going to hit Master Ball, and that's good enough for me. Yeah. I just want to be competent again. That's all I ask. Let me be competent again. And of course, if you want to watch us on stream at twitch.tv/thepoklepodcast, I try to do every Tuesday. I do a couple other days here and there. Try to do Thursdays and then a day on the weekend if I have some time. It's always a good time. I like hanging out with you guys on Twitch. It's one of my favorite things to do. And of course, you can always support the podcast by going over to patreon.com/puclpodcast, where you can get cool shinies, extra goodies, a bunch of fun stuff. So on that note, I have been Trainer Thatch.
I've been Dr. Shamu.
And I've been Seth Vilo.
And here in the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's closing time.